Welcome back to Something to Talk About. I am Keon, and today we are taking a real look at the crime situation in Baltimore. No politics, no bias, just straight facts, some opinions on what needs to happen. Now, let's deal with some facts here. From 2018 to 2025, Baltimore's crime trends have shifted, depending on the time period and the type of crime. Overall, the city's homicide rate is still amongst the highest in the country, but it's actually dropped more sharply than in many other large cities, such as New Orleans, LA, and New York, some other places. Okay, Chicago being one. From 2024 to 2025, Baltimore saw declines in aggravated assaults, robberies, carjackings, motor vehicle thefts, right in line with the national trends. Gun assaults and larcenies did not fall as much, but the city did see a major drop in sexual assaults compared to other cities. Now, as we shift into the first segment, I want to be very clear about something. Crime isn't going away, it's shifting, okay? Here is something people need to understand. Crime is not going to disappear, and it is not disappearing. What's happening is that there is a shift into other areas. When law enforcement focuses heavily on one type of crime, or when communities adopt certain prevention measures, criminals often move to less monitored or less enforced crime areas. For example, while homicides and carjackings are slowly declining, we are seeing an increase in property crimes, fraud, and some violent offenses that are not making headlines. That tells us two things. First, enforcement alone isn't enough. And secondly, society has to look at the root causes of crime and not just the crime itself. This is where juvenile crime comes in. A large portion of violent crime involves young people, and that's where the cycle can be broken. However, we must address it properly. Now, juvenile crime, the real issue. Juvenile crime is a hot topic for a good reason. Too often, kids are getting involved in serious offenses early on, and it's affecting the community as a whole. But here's the problem. The system around us makes it hard for parents to hold their doggone children responsible. Society has created so many restrictions on how parents can discipline children, sometimes reasonable, but sometimes extreme, that kids aren't always learning boundaries at home. And when children don't learn boundaries, we end up seeing them act out in public places, committing theft, assaults, or worse. Now, I'm not saying all juvenile crime is the parents' fault, but I am saying that parents need tools, support, and authority to guide their children. And when parents neglect or fail to set boundaries, there must be some accountability, because kids don't exist in a vacuum. Now, what needs to happen? So, what does that look like in practice? First, the justice system has to treat juvenile crime seriously, while still providing a path for rehabilitation. Kids who commit serious offenses need consequences, whether it's structured program, probation, or community service. However, it cannot be a slap on the wrist. Secondly, and I think this is the more important part, parents must be part of the solution. If a child is committing crimes, the parent should be required to participate in the intervention, counseling, or some other program to ensure and assure accountability. Yeah, some people gonna push back, saying society shouldn't punish parents for their child's behavior. And guess what? I get that. But here's the reality. When society removes a parent's authority and shields kids from consequences, somebody has to step up. Otherwise, the cycle continues. Communities also need to restore support for families, mentoring programs, after-school initiatives, and guidance that helps parents stay engaged and empowered. Prevention starts at home, but the community has to reinforce it. And people are tired of policing our babies with billy clubs and, worse yet, 40 caliber guns. They're tired of that. And the cemetery, believe it or not, is sick and tired of short caskets and young birthdays coming in there. That cannot be a part of the solution anymore. Now, opinion and societal implications are important. Now, let me give you my opinion, and I'll be honest with you. Part of what we are facing is a cultural shift that has gone too far. We've created an environment where children can challenge rules, avoid consequences, and still face minimal accountability. And while empathy and protection are important, discipline matters too. Without it, the statistics that we are talking about, homicide, assaults, carjacking, are going to keep appearing, but in different forms. We need some balance. We need systems that punish crime, rehabilitate offenders, and restore authority of parents without crossing the line into abuse. Now, that's not easy, but if we don't take it seriously, we are just treating symptoms instead of treating the cause of the issue. So, Baltimore, let's just be upfront about something. Crime ain't going away. It's changing, shifting, and challenging the system that's around us. Juvenile crime is a huge piece of that, and both kids and parents have to be held accountable. Communities have to support families, parents have to guide children, and we all have to demand a solution that actually works. A solution that works. If you found this conversation eye-opening, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share this episode with somebody that needs to hear it. I am Keon, and remember, there's always something to talk about. Catch you on the next episode.